WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times, that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint? It's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
The Bucks are ready to face Luka and the Lakers at Fiserv Forum.
Lillard drives, nice find underneath, and Giannis rocks the rim with a two-hand slam.
Our coverage begins tonight at 6 on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 45 degrees, on our way up to 60 inland, 51 near the lake, mild temperatures, and a low of 42 overnight. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik. Offering to test over 1,000 Milwaukee Public Schools students for lead. The MPS District and Milwaukee Health Department hosting a lead screening clinic at Bradley Tech High School Saturday from 9 to 1. Interim Chief of School Administration for MPS, Michael Harris, on how many medical professionals will be on site.
Our partnership is with Children's Hospital, so they have a full staff. They're looking at, if I'm not mistaken, 14 or 15 lanes that will be open. MPS will have some of its nurses, parent coordinators, Milwaukee Rec on site to just support the efforts to get folks in, make folks comfortable, and go through the process.
Future clinics will take place at 16th Street Community Health Center and Children's Wisconsin Next Door Clinic. A WTMJ exclusive, the new interim Madison City Clerk ensuring all ballots will be counted on April 1st as an investigation continues into how 193 ballots went uncounted last November.
Michael Haas is no stranger to the elections process, having previously worked as administrator for the Wisconsin Elections Commission. But he tells WTMJ he's still getting acclimated to his temporary job as city clerk.
I spent most of yesterday just getting my bearings with the staff here.
Haas says the currently on leave Marybeth Witzel-Bell put in place practices before her suspension Wednesday to ensure the April 1st election runs smoothly.
I have some great deputy clerks here. I'm confident that we will be in good shape.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A federal judge orders thousands of probationary employees laid off by the Trump administration back to work. ABC's Catherine Falders with the latest.
The judge says that they didn't follow the proper process, that they've unlawfully terminated these workers because they've said that this was for performance reasons. He said that in a lot of cases, they were not terminated for performance reasons, that they didn't follow the process established in federal law.
The judge's order comes in a lawsuit filed by a coalition of labor unions and organizations as the Trump administration moves to dramatically downsize the federal workforce. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he agrees in principle with the United States proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine, but emphasized that the terms are yet to be worked out and noted that any truce should pave the way to lasting peace. Putin said more discussions are needed with the United States, including President Trump. And remembering Bucks player and minority owner Junior Bridgman, speaking fondly of his success on the court, former Buck teammate John McLaughlin tells WTMJ Bridgman was a one-of-a-kind individual when it comes to his work on and off the court.
He shows you with intellect and hard work what you can do with the platform that God gave him in terms of athletics, and then he went on and built that into other greater things, and he did a lot of wonderful things for charities.
And the Bucks will honor Bridgman's legacy and career tonight with a video tribute in the first quarter. They'll also debut a patch for the rest of the season on the uniforms. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Not a great day here. The Dow is currently down about 600 points at 40,761. NASDAQ off about 340 points. It's nearly 2% at 17,309. S&P 500 off about 1.5%. That's about 78 points at 5520. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for several years. Lori Salzman, Vice President of Enterprise Services, explains why.
We started with the document imaging, and I have to say that the service and support has been fantastic.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I've never met an organization that is so responsive to make sure that we are up and running all the time for us to be more efficient and allow us to focus more on the work that we do for helping young people.
Lori, what's your recommendation to others that aren't getting that kind of attention from their business technology company?
Please call James Imaging because they will work with you to make sure that you find a solution that can make you more efficient and productive.
Make the call, 262-781-7700, or visit JamesImaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
We have an exciting giveaway this week on Spanning the State.
One fan will win 2 front row tickets to see the Beach Boys coming to the Riverside Theater Friday, May 23rd.
Tune in to Spanning the State this Friday.
With timeless songs that shaped music history, they continue to inspire generations.
Experience the music, the magic, the good vibrations. The Beach Boys are still making waves.
Win 2 front row tickets to the Beach Boys coming to Riverside Theater May 23rd. Tune in to Spanning the State this Friday.
We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. We put cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Are you concerned with AMD? Now protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements, available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's the Bucks and Lakers tonight from Fiserv Forum. Lakers will be missing 4 key starters, including LeBron James. He's out due to a groin strain. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock on WTMJ. And tipping off in about a half hour from Madison Square Garden, the Marquette Golden Eagles face Xavier in round 1 of the Big East tournament. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN. Badgers men's basketball team also tipping off about 1:30 against Northwestern. That's in the Big Ten tournament. Winner takes on UCLA. And no game broadcast for the Brewers today. Our next broadcast of Cactus League play set for Friday afternoon. Brewers scheduled to take on the White Sox this afternoon in Arizona. Taking a look at your roads, a WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Happy to report no major issues on the system. Standard travel times throughout the system and light volume this afternoon. Enjoy the day today. 60 degrees your high inland, 51 near the lake, lots of sun, partly cloudy tonight and a low of 42. Up to 72 inland on Friday, high of 63 near the lake. Rain and storms at night. Some could be borderline severe. Saturday's high 61. Right now in Madison, it is 58 degrees. Green Bay 55, 58 in Waukesha, 45 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon, Brian. How you doing today?
Always lovely.
Always lovely? Always?
Well, listen, that's what we have to put out. That's the face I'll put on. Always lovely.
Always smiling.
Sure.
Always happy.
Yeah, yes.
Yes? Should we keep going? Other synonyms for the word?
No, because the deeper you go, the more lies you are weaving, and I don't want to put you in that position.
Fair enough. All right, well, coming up today, we've talked a lot about nursing homes and the aging population in Wisconsin, and it's also interesting because I think the assumption often is privately run entities are run better than government-owned entities. But when it comes to nursing homes, at least in Wisconsin, that has not been the case. As more county and municipal-owned nursing homes are being sold to private companies, the quality is going down. And so we're going to be talking to Andrew Ball, who is the state reporter for the Cap Times, who recently reported on this trend across Wisconsin, to talk about what's happening when these nursing homes are being sold. So that's coming up at 1:35.
And then at 2:35, in the wake of the Roe v. Wade reversal and, the big debate over the Wisconsin abortion laws, there is a disturbing but not altogether unsurprising statistic that is happening across the state, and we will talk to Dr. Laura Hanks to tell us about that.
Indeed. Well, but first, I guess, talking about abortion, because that was one of the topics broached last night in the one and only debate for the Supreme Court between Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel. And going into this, so I guess we didn't really talk much about the Marquette poll that came out last week.
No, we didn't. And it was, and it covered a lot of ground, but one of the questions concerned the Supreme Court race.
Well, one of the questions was just basically it was about over 800 people polled, and that not a lot of people know that much about either candidate. So Brad Schimmel, who was our attorney general, so he has won a statewide office before, held a statewide office position for 4 years, but still about 38% of respondents said they didn't have enough information about him.
Right.
Susan Crawford, who is a Dane County judge, who's never run a statewide race before, 58% of people said they didn't have enough information about her.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, does it? Because we've already surpassed, so this was yesterday, WisPolitics reported we've already surpassed $59 million spent on this race, and the record before, 2 years ago, was $51 million.
Well, what I meant by making sense, it makes sense statewide that a Dane County judge is not well known across the state. It also makes sense that people can, yes, despite all that money and all those ads, we can still feel we don't know anybody, because I don't think there's anyone who doesn't look at political advertising through a very jaded lens. Mm-hmm. We know the Schimmel campaign is only telling us what they want us to hear, and vice versa. The Crawford campaign is only sending out horrible messages. I know two things. I know Brad Schimmel didn't act on rape kits, and I know Crawford let a couple guys off that should. That's all we're getting hammered. So, yes, there's a lot of advertising, but it's the same message. We're good, the other person's bad. Not, I'm good because doom, 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 doom. I'm not surprised by that number of people saying they don't know the candidate.
Well, and I make this argument this week in my column that hasn't come out yet, but because I also wonder if it has to do with the fact that 2 years ago, there wasn't as much going on.
Correct.
Right? In the spring of 2023, we were inundated with so much information, so many ads on the Supreme Court race, and there wasn't the same flood the zone Trump admin 2.0 that like every day there is some other kind of news that the media is overwhelmed with of what to cover. And not that local media hasn't been covering the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, but to me, those are like, there's so many parallels between that race and this race, and Trump being in office and how much the news cycle is being dominated by Doge and Elon Musk. Like that to me is the biggest difference I'm seeing now as to why so many people are either overwhelmed with other information that they're consuming every day, or they've kind of just tapped out of the news because it's so exhausting.
I think it might be the latter to a big extent, but how would we change that? You already mentioned, and that's the story we've been seeing a lot, how much money is being pumped into this campaign. With all that money, is it not cutting through because of all the stuff nationally? Are people, you would think people would be a little more invested in their local races when it's coming down to this than there's nothing we could do really about the national stuff right now except wring our hands. But at least with an election on April 1st, there's something locally that we can actually do, so you pay more attention to it. But to your point, I wish some days I could check out of all this stuff, but we can't. So maybe that's what people are doing there. I just don't want any more of this.
So yeah, so I all of this is getting me to the point where I'm like, maybe we should not elect our justices. So we're going to dive into more of that when we come back. But I would love to hear from you. 855-616-1620, Citing Unlimited, WTMJ talk and text line. Did you watch the debate? What would you need to learn about either of these candidates to feel like you are confident in your vote when we're talking about justices? Because they're not supposed to be political. They're supposed to be impartial. And so
that's horses long
when
out
you
of the
look
barn.
at this, like what information do you feel like you need to have in order to feel like you know enough about these candidates? So we'll dive into all of that after this on Spanning the State.
The only place to get this.
Gary Trent, deep corner three, and he splashes it through. The Bucks have vaulted back ahead by 2.
With some of this.
How are you not spamming Giannis and Dame two-man game and pick and rolls? Torian Prince took 2 more shots in this game than Giannis did. It's tough to find numbers to support this.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Are you over 18 years old, over 280 pounds, and interested in participating in a clinical research study? If so, you may be eligible to participate in a research study involving MRI scanning. You may qualify to participate if you are 18 years of age or older and not employed by GE Healthcare, are able to hear and understand English, are over 280 pounds, are not pregnant, do not have any tattoos or permanent makeup, have no implants with the exception of permanent orthodontic retainers and breast implants. Pierre O'Godden is a principal investigator for the study being held at 3200 North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Study scans are investigational, and the use of these devices has not been cleared by the FDA. The study is not being performed for diagnostic purposes and is not intended to replace your medical care. Your appointment will last up to 4 hours, and for your time and travel to GE Healthcare in Waukesha, you'll be offered a gift card valued at $80 per appointment at GE Healthcare's MRI facility. To learn more, please call GE Healthcare at 262-312-7855. Again, that's 262-312-7855.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. 0 wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? TriCountyContracting.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContracting.com.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey, and I'm starting to have a bone to pick with how we get our Supreme Court justices, because I know there's pros and cons to having a governor appoint them versus having an election. But I feel like I'm getting the point in Wisconsin, now that we have already smashed the 2023 record for spending, and there's still 3 weeks until the election, but there's already $59 million spent on this election. And yet the Marquette poll said not enough people. There's a lot of people who feel like they don't know enough about the candidates, despite all these ads coming through. And I just feel like this is, and so how else are they supposed to run except like politicians? And yet they're not supposed to be politicians.
They're not supposed to be politicians. I don't really care about their personal views. What I want them to come out, you asked what I'd want to see.
Yeah.
I'd want some sort of peer review. I would like the Bar Association or other justices. In Illinois, the Supreme Court justices are voted on by other justices. And they
so
only
they're
have
not voted. There's not like a public.
Nope. No, we don't vote. We vote for judges.
Okay.
But the Supreme Court justices, and they're 3-year terms. Here it's what, 7 or 10?
It's 10 years.
10 years. So
there's not a cap. You can run again,
right,
but it's a 10-year term.
Yeah, 10-year term. So I want there to be some review. Just like when I vote for judges at home, I go to the Illinois Bar Association. I read their recommendations. I read who not. I usually am just looking for the ones they don't recommend. Then I'm like, okay, I won't vote for them. I want something like that. I want a brief statement from each candidate to just say, this is what I believe, this is how I approach the law, and this is what I will do. I will just look at the law without any sort of personal bent.
But they're also saying that, right?
I know, but there's all this other stuff. So I would be for reconfiguring the system.
Reconfiguring the system.
Yes, not have them voted on, because then the question of money goes away. The question, at least for the Supreme Court, if they're being appointed by either other justices or someone else, who cares where Elon's or Soros's money is going? They won't be going into that race.
Well, that's the point. So we have Ellen's on the phone from Kenosha, and so because I asked the question, what do you feel like you need to know in order to be confident about your vote for April 1st?
Good afternoon.
Hi, Ellen.
You talked about a couple of the things that I was curious about. I did some poking around when all of the ads came on to find out what the truth was behind both sides of the ads. But I would really like to know more about who is endorsing Susan Crawford. Is she well respected amongst lawyers and judges, sheriffs, law enforcement, anybody who's had contact with her over the years? I'd like to know what other people who know her better than I do feel about her.
So, like for you, have you gone to her website yet?
Yeah, I did.
And you feel like you didn't get enough information from that?
No, it was just real cursory. At least the time when I looked, which was a little while ago.
Yeah, but I think that's a great point as far as, because I think, thanks you so much for the call, Ellen. And I think that is the thing is like, so you were saying as far as other justices or other judges voting on it, because ultimately, like, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I think I'm pretty smart, but like, I don't know enough about the law. And so I feel like we revert back into these feelings of who's endorsing them. And so is it Elon, if you like Elon Musk or you don't like Elon Musk, if you like George Soros, or you don't like George Soros, or where are their past statements on Act 10? What are their past statements on abortion? And so then it's just like a politician and the expectation of, well, this is how they're going to rule once they're in the seat.
Today, that's a huge issue. Oh, they're backing away from their previous stance for Crawford. She went to court against Act 10. Now she's saying she'd support Act 10 because now it's changed. She said the argument has changed since she initially went to court about it. So it's like any other race.
But how else are they supposed to, if we're forcing them to campaign, what else are they supposed to do?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that I'm not disagreeing. But this is why we're hearing this same stuff. It's why it sounds exactly like any other political race. It's the same mudslinging. It's the same concerns over outside money. It's the same concerns over who's backing who. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really telling us, this person would not make a good justice because of this, and this.
Yeah.
Based on their actual job, not a
like from a legal
standpoint
headline, as far as yes, exactly. So we have Jeremy on the line. Jeremy, do you have feelings as far as what you would need to know in order to be confident in your vote?
It's very difficult for judges. I'm not a lawyer, so I mean, for me to cross judgment on what that individual knows as far as law competency and how they would carry it out. When you put it into an election, you tend to start to see judges and or like district attorneys start to change the way they practice in order to, I guess, appeal to a base. I don't want judges to make judgments on the bench because they're more worried about being reelected.
I know.
Than carrying out the law. So I'd rather them be appointed by a peer review, governorships, whatever it is, and go through a process of screening through our elected officials, like going through the state Senate and all that stuff. Because when I go there, we got judges on our ballot right now that are uncontested.
Yep.
So it's like, what's the point? Here I am. I got one that's contested, and I don't know either one of these people. And it's, it'd take me about 10 minutes to look into them. But how can I make a good judgment on these individuals based on a little website? I don't know their whole 20-year career on the bench and what they were before that. And I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, no, Jeremy, I totally feel you. I think that is a great point. Thank you so much for the call. And we're not going to change it. The election's happening. It's important for you to vote. It's important for all of us to get the information that we can get. And because they are the next, the justices who are already there, but the whoever gets elected will be on the court in August.
Right.
And it's going to be Act 10. It's going to be the congressional redistricting maps. It's going to be abortion. Like, there is really big things that are going to impact our lives that these people are in charge of. And yet, I don't know what criteria we're supposed to elect them on besides being conservative or being liberal.
Well, listen, that you can always vote for judges like I've always done, and I feel bad about it, but I always just vote for the Irish last name. That's it. If they're a judge and they have an Irish last name, if I haven't seen them in the breakdown from the Bar Association, they get it.
Is that DEI?
Sure. Yeah. I'm inclusive. Doesn't matter. I didn't say
preferential treatment based on identity.
Based on just your last name. It could have been like I could vote for a woman with an Irish last name who might be Hispanic and married an Irish guy. I don't know, but I'm just voting for the name.
There you go.
Everybody gets a fair shot with me as long as they sound Irish.
All right. Well, feel free to shoot us a text if you have feelings on the information that you need when it comes to judges or justices when we elect them, because it's a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing. But we will take a quick break, and when we come back, there's more.
This is Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with Larry Lynn, the godfather of Milwaukee rock and roll.
How would somebody not know what a skunk smells like? And I thought, this would be a great name. People will never forget it. And there was two ladies that were beauticians that I knew. I says, could you guys dye our hair black and with two bleach stripes in it?
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're in need of a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care. He's committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible, and I can assure you that he's going to prioritize your needs no matter how sensitive they are, just like he did with mine. If you're due for a dental visit, Economowoc Dental has an $89 new patient special, so you can get the care that you need at an affordable price. In addition to my exam, Dr. Michaels' staff provided a gentle, professional cleaning. You know, we all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Check out Economowoc Dental Care at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give them a call at 262-567-7224. If you want to start feeling confident about your smile, go see my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice?
get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristin Brey, and we're talking about electing justices because we do indeed have another Supreme Court race April 1st, along with DPI, along with a statewide referendum on voter ID. And I just, and we're not going to change anything.
Is the money weighing in on your decision, or did you have a decision before you heard? Like Elon sending so much money or Soros spending
of who I'm going to vote for?
Who you're going to vote for. Does that influence you in any way? The money, who they're getting the big money from? Because it's not going to them directly.
Well, it's not.
It's going to the PACs.
Well,
and then
so
the
it's
PACs are
Elon's
funneling
PAC,
it.
and this is what I think is interesting from not even invested in it, but like just watching how this is going to play out. Because I feel like when I think about Wisconsin and Wisconsin voters, we don't love outsiders.
No.
And
most places don't, though.
Yeah, right?
You know?
And I think there is, because there's something, you track the money, and Reid Hoffman, J.B. Pritzker, George Soros donating to WisDems because there's no cap on being able to donate to parties in Wisconsin, and that money's getting funneled in. But they're not running super PACs, right? They're not kind of like putting their name on stuff. And then simultaneously, you have the Uihleins and Diane Hendricks donating money to Wisconsin Republicans, and same thing. But then you have the Elon Musk of the whole thing.
Right.
He's not just donating money, but there's people on the ground ringing doorbells, texting, mailers, and mailers that are explicitly saying this guy will support Trump's agenda.
Right.
And the campaign is not saying that because that would be a big issue. But the stuff's coming from the super PAC, which is separate, is saying it. And I just feel like they are gambling. Like, I think this could backfire.
Are they coming out to either confirm or deny these? They know they're out there. They know these flyers and they know all that stuff is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Are they coming out and saying
who's they?
Schimmel's campaign.
I mean, last night he said he's not going to. He's like, I can't control what they do, but he's also not like shunning the help.
Well, that's sure. And if you don't come out and say, listen, they're putting out info, we'll hear it on ABC News and local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Stocks on the slide again over the growing trade war. President Trump defending U.S. tariffs. ABC's Selena Wang is at the White House.
The president said that he wasn't going to bend on tariffs. This is, as we've seen, the markets whipsawed by his on-again, off-again tariff strategy for the last few weeks. He said, quote, we've been ripped off for years, saying he won't change his mind on the 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel.
The president also says he'll add 200% tariffs on alcohol imported from the European Union after the EU hiked duties on U.S. whiskey. Russia's president says he agrees to the spirit of a ceasefire deal, but has questions about the U.S. 30-day ceasefire proposal that Ukraine has already agreed to. A U.S. district judge ruling the immediate reinstatement of thousands of terminated probationary federal employees, saying the Trump administration attempted to circumvent legal procedures for issuing reductions in force. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. 45 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik. The caretaker accused of abusing a now dead toddler from Two Rivers is asking for more time to prepare his case. Attorneys for Jesse Vang saying today they need 2 to 6 months to review video and other evidence for the trial. Police say Vang was the first to report 3-year-old Elijah Vu had gone missing in February of last year. Vu's remains were found in September. Vang is due back in court June 20th. A woman is now facing felony charges accused of attacking a bus driver in Madison. 26-year-old Raven Johnson charged with second-degree recklessly endangering safety, attempted battery to a public transit operator, and bail jumping. Witnesses say Johnson got upset last month when she learned the Madison Metro bus wasn't going to her desired location. She then pushed and shoved the driver before the bus crashed into an Asian house restaurant. One passenger was taken to a hospital and another one was treated on the scene with minor injuries. And Decision Wisconsin. Disabled voters won't be allowed to get their absentee ballots by email. The Wisconsin Appeals Court ruling Wednesday comes less than 3 weeks before the April 1st election. Disability Rights Wisconsin, the League of Women Voters, and 4 disabled voters brought the lawsuit to the table a year ago, arguing that not having the email absentee voting option violated their right to independence and privacy while voting. Currently, only military personnel and overseas voters can get absentee ballots via email. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Lots of red today. The Dow currently down about 450 points at 40,916. S&P 500 off about 60 today at 5541. The Nasdaq off about 260 points, about 1.5% at 17,389. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Quick check of your roads here. WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. Nothing of significance to report. Experiencing travel times of the standard variety throughout the course of the day today. Hopefully that continues. Light volume, easy going on the system. Mostly sunny, mild today, a high of 60 degrees inland, 51 near the lake, overnight low of 42. Partly cloudy and mild on Friday. 72 the high inland, 63 near the lake. Rain and storms expected at night. Right now in Madison, it is 54 degrees. In Green Bay, 56. Waukesha, 59. And it's 45 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Your European experts at Fox World Travel are ramping up and busy as ever. With the trending spring and summer European travel season, Fox European experts mean you can maximize your time soaking up the warm weather, blooming flowers, and vibrant landscapes without worrying about your travel or missing a moment. Port hop along the Mediterranean with Celebrity or Holland America, or design your own bucket list adventure with Globus. Visit us online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Your European immersion awaits.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristin Brey, and it's no secret that Wisconsin is starting to feel the silver tsunami of our aging population. So whether you yourself are starting to think about what your future plans are for assisted living or nursing home care, or your parents, you're thinking of your parents and what you're going to do as they get older. But I think quality and access of services available as people age should be something that we all are at least top of mind.
Yes.
But as we have covered before, guaranteed quality of care can be hard to secure, especially as more county and municipal-owned nursing homes are being sold to private companies. Andrew Ball is a politics reporter for the Cap Times who recently wrote about this trend, and he joins us now. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I guess what What are the major differences, or if you know, as far as like county or municipal-owned nursing homes and for-profit private nursing homes?
Yeah, so a couple points on that. Kind of big generalizations. There are definitely county or state-run or locally run nursing homes that struggle with quality of care issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I think studies have consistently shown that generally they are, big picture better than for-profit, privately owned homes. And if you also look at staffing, they do better from that perspective as well. Another big difference, and this I think will kind of get at some of the things we'll talk about in a second, but financially, it's harder to run a publicly owned nursing home because they have more patients on Medicaid, and the finances just don't work out quite as neatly as private payers. So we've seen a lot of locally owned or county-owned nursing homes really struggle to kind of make ends meet.
So, Andrew, just because what you just said kind of confused me a little bit, and I think a lot of people would be confused. We would think that privately owned, if we're paying for it, our services are going to be better. But you said the studies show that the municipally owned facilities were thought to have better care. In what ways was their care thought to be better?
So a lot of it centers on, and my reporting kind of also centered on looking at the star ratings that the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services will assign nursing homes based off of surveys that show potential quality of care issues, and then things like, are they doing well on staffing? Are they, doing a good job of caring for people and like ulcer care, treating problems as they arise? And, it is kind of surprising just because, there is this notion that private services are often better. But I think that, that may not necessarily always be the case. Again, kind of generalizing here.
Well, so explain what happened in Algoma back in 2022.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting case study. Algoma was one of the last municipally owned nursing homes in the state of Wisconsin. In 2022, local officials said that, the finances just aren't working out. We feel like we need to look for other options. And so they decided to sell the home to a private buyer, a gentleman from New Jersey who had financial backers. They came in and they also buy a home in Wausau, a home in Brown Deer, and they are now privately owned. And things are going all right for a while, but last year they filed for receivership, which is kind of a complicated way of saying that they are in financial distress.
Okay.
And I started looking, and really the problem here is that there was a dispute between one of the guys who was kind of owning and administering this home on a day-to-day basis and the people who gave him the money to buy the home in the first place. And kind of, I'll save your listeners the complicated breakdown of what happened, but the end result in Algoma is a big drop in the quality of care. And all three of these homes in Algoma, Wausau, and Brown Deer are millions of dollars in debt, and they are going to have to be sold again. And that just means more chaos, more instability for the people who live there.
Yeah. And you started looking into Algoma, but the story isn't just about that, because this is a bigger trend across Wisconsin, right? About what are we looking at as far as privately owned nursing care facilities?
Yeah, so most of the nursing homes in the state of Wisconsin are privately owned. They are for profit. And looking since 2016, my reporting found that there have been 125 nursing homes that have been sold in that time frame. And in most of the cases, the quality of care either stayed the same, and oftentimes that's a very low quality facility that is not getting any better, or it dropped. And that's what happened in Algoma. It was a really high quality facility. The federal government and the state government said, you're doing an above average job, and it dropped to below average quality of care.
Ugh. And so I guess is it because of their need to turn a profit? And so they cut, is it because they're cutting corners or they're paying less? Like, what is, like we said, it's you think of government-run entities as not being as high quality. And so what is the difference?
Yeah, so there are kind of competing theories on this. There's a lot of evidence that in some cases it is that motive to turn a profit. And there has been a lot of conversation nationally about private equity buying into nursing homes. That I think happens less in Wisconsin than in other states, but they're definitely, from going through some of these court documents, profit is definitely on the mind of people. I mean, it makes sense. You buy these facilities, you want to make money. But also, I think there are broader conversations about how we fund long-term care in general, how the government funds it, and also how, we are able to staff these facilities because, it might not matter if you can turn a profit with a full nursing home if you don't have the staff to make that a reality.
So aren't there, I hate to always fall back on the government and rules and the regulations, but aren't there regulations that are overseeing these facilities and trying to keep them from dropping down to the below average level?
Yeah, there definitely are no shortage of regulations governing long-term care, and the state and federal government will keep an eye on whether nursing homes are following those. There also are regulations that are in place to govern nursing homes that get sold. But I found that the State Department of Health Services is not always blocking sketchy nursing home buyers from buying them and potentially, as we saw in Algoma, kind of running things into the ground. So, sometimes I think it's a case of, the oversight not being there. And I know nursing homes also argue sometimes there's too much oversight and too many regulations that they feel kind of ties their hands in delivering the best possible quality of care.
So, Andrew, last question. As far as this problem's only going to get more exacerbated as we have more people getting older. And so when you're in Madison and you're in the Capitol, do you hear many lawmakers talking about solutions to this as far as how we are going to be able to handle the aging population who will eventually need more assisted living centers and more well-run nursing homes?
Yeah, I think it's on the minds of a lot of folks, and it'll be interesting to see, 2025 is a year when state legislators take up the state budget, and it will be interesting to see, that will mean a conversation about how the state is reimbursing nursing homes for the care they provide to folks on Medicaid. And I think that's an area that's gotten a lot of attention for trying to make the finances work out a little bit better. But I know there's also a lot of attention to that staffing issue. And, a lot of folks, both in the Capitol, but also in places like UW-Madison and higher education, trying to figure out how we can get more people interested in nursing and get them into these nursing home facilities where they really can, make a difference. And post-COVID, that's really been a big challenge. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And I think, listeners should be, if this is something, they have a loved one in a long-term care facility, these are the kinds of questions you should maybe be looking at on the quality of care they're getting, on the staffing levels to make sure they're getting the best care possible.
All right. Andrew Ball is a politics reporter with the Cap Times. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. We'll be back with more after this.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
It's always a good idea to listen to Spanning the State, but tomorrow, it's an even better idea because we have an exciting giveaway tomorrow right here. One fan is going to win 2 front row tickets to see the Beach Boys. They're coming to the Riverside Theater May 23rd. Yes, you heard me, 2 front row tickets. So tune into the show tomorrow with timeless songs that shaped music history. They continue to inspire generations, so you can experience the music, the magic, and the good vibrations. The Beach Boys are still on the road making waves. You can win 2 front row tickets to the Beach Boys coming to the Riverside Theater May 23rd. Tune in to Spanning the State tomorrow. That's this show. What time? I'm not telling you. Listen from 1 to 3, and sometime in those 2 hours, we'll send you to see the Beach Boys at Riverside Theater.
I found the fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had 1 treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Field.
Oh, yes, it's Spanning the State, where the bump music gives away the topic.
Indeed, indeed. I have not seen this. I've seen kind of, but not really on my social media.
Okay.
But do you, besides this story, did you know what Erewhon? I knew what Erewhon was.
I thought it was the outdoor store. But it's different.
No. Erewhon is like the bougiest of bougie grocery stores in LA.
Really?
Bougier than Whole Foods. It's famous for overpriced health, it's the epitome of the wellness industry.
Okay.
And selling you fancy things.
Nice.
So it does not surprise me that they have a $19 strawberry.
What? It should always surprise you that there's one strawberry that's $19.
I mean,
strawberry?
What did the banana go for? That was called art? Was that a multi-million-dollar rotting banana duct taped to a wall? Nothing surprises me.
Wow.
But yes, and so taking the internet by storm is a $19 Japanese single strawberry being sold at this grocery store called Erewhon. And it's viral for as many reasons you think. There's lots of people trying it.
Right.
But there's also lots of people being like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'll fall into that camp. I do like the packaging. I mean, that might be worth a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
It's got the nice dome over it, and you take it off. I expect to see steam coming out.
It reminds me of the rose in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's just like that. Well, it was funny. The other night, Jimmy Kimmel took, as he's wont to do, he has his staff go out on the street. And they had gone to, I'm going to guess, Ralph's, the local grocery store chain in L.A., bought just one of the plastic containers of strawberries like you and I would buy if we went to the store. And they put them in containers that looked like these Erewhon containers.
Okay.
And they told people, oh, this is that $19 strawberry. Would you like to try it? Yes. Everybody, including a chef, this is the best strawberry I've ever tasted. It's so juicy. One guy said, I don't taste the food coloring that I taste in other strawberries. I know, there's a lot of dumb. Then they said, well, would you like to, we have regular strawberries. Would you like to taste one of those? Sure. And they'd taste them. Oh, this is flat. There's no juice. There's it's not good. The chef was like, no, this lacks no character, blah, 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 blah. And then they go, well, would it surprise you to know that they both came from the same container? And I love that because the chef was like, oh, all right, yeah, I look pretty foolish now, don't I? And I just laughed and laughed. Yes, you do.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't know if it would. If someone gave it to me, I'd try it. I'm not sure I'm dropping $20 just to try a strawberry.
On a strawberry.
Single strawberry.
For $20, I can get 3 giant containers of strawberries today at Costco. Giant ones.
Well, I am excited for strawberry season because I do like a good strawberry.
I don't blame you.
Not a $19 single strawberry. All right. We'll be back with more after this.
So, you think your new star puts you up there with the best?
To see somebody of Luca's caliber be traded like this, you don't see that happening very often.
Well, just wait till we show you how we do it here in the Midwest.
Where are you from?
Dude, I'm from Lake Michigan.
Dribble. LeBron takes off. Blocked by Giannis at the rim.
The Bucks host the Lakers in Milwaukee. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6.
Giannis blocks the king at the rim.
We are the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Buy one pizza today, get a second pizza free at the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford and in Oshkosh. Don't cook, don't even think about it. You don't need to clean up either. Call, order, and pick up shortly, or just walk in for your free Thursday pizza, mineshaft.restaurant.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
All right, most days we have our 4 TVs up, and it's midday television, and I don't really care about anything that's up there. It's usually more distracting.
Right.
But I am very pleased today because it's a Big Ten tournament, and the Badgers are playing right now against Northwestern. It's the first half.
Oh, okay.
They're down 3. So during this top of the hour news break, I will get my fill of Badger basketball.
I don't blame you. There was a teacher I used to work with who was a Wisconsin alum. During the tournament, any free time or playing time or lunch, he was there.
Checking scores. I know. It is time. Yep. It is. If you were a college basketball fan, this is your month.
Yes.
And so it is coming. All right. When we come back, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. If you save for retirement in a 401k or IRA, let me ask you, do you know how much of that money is actually yours? Or will taxes take a bigger bite than you expected? Right now, taxes are historically low, but with growing national debt and government spending, do you think they'll really stay that way? Many retirees are shocked to realize the IRS might be one of the biggest expenses in retirement. Here's the good news. You do have options. Smart tax strategies can help you keep more of your hard-earned money instead of handing it over to Uncle Sam. At Drake & Associates, we help our clients create tax-efficient retirement income plans so they can enjoy their wealth instead of worrying about it running out. And here's the catch. These strategies work best when you plan ahead. That's why I'm offering you a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you understand how taxes could impact your retirement and what you can do about it. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 right now to claim your free copy while supplies last. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Take control of your retirement today. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you keep more of what you've earned.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhart.
if you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
The Bucks are ready to face Luka and the Lakers at Fiserv Forum.
Lillard drives, nice find underneath, and Giannis rocks the rim with a two-hand slam.
Our coverage begins tonight at 6 on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it's 47 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild with a lunar eclipse, a low of 42. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Decision, Wisconsin. Both candidates for an open Wisconsin State Supreme Court seat discussing the nearly $60 million invested into the race during Wednesday's debate on WISN TV. Judge Brad Schimmel.
97% of the donors to my campaign are people who vote right here in the state of Wisconsin. Almost 50% of my opponent's donors can't vote in the state of Wisconsin because they don't reside here.
Judge Susan Crawford offering a response.
97% of the donors to my campaign are people who vote right.
The $59 million invested breaks the previous record set during the 2023 race between Janet Protasewicz and Dan Kelly. A WTMJ exclusive. The new interim City of Madison clerk is fully confident the April 1st election will run smoothly as an investigation continues into 193 uncounted absentee ballots found after the 2024 presidential election.
City Attorney Michael Haas tells WTMJ he was first told of his appointment to the interim position on Tuesday, the day before Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway publicly confirmed Maribeth Witzel-Bell was being placed on leave.
He was very helpful in providing the status of preparations for the elections.
While Haas admits he's still getting his bearings about him, he has full confidence the critical April 1st election will go off without a hitch.
Sometimes mistakes are made. The key is that we need to be transparent with the public.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The interim chief of school administration for Milwaukee Public Schools is sharing some good news in the midst of lead issues. Michael Harris tells WTMJ.
To our families over at Trowbridge, they will be returning to their school tomorrow, Friday. We're really excited about that. Our team has been doing an excellent job of really learning from our partnership with the Milwaukee Health Department to really understand what this situation is and how we can remediate this and really get going on our other schools.
The City of Milwaukee Health Department has successfully finished lead hazard remediation efforts. That included multiple rounds of cleaning and an inspection. MPS will now work to ensure students and staff only drink from filtered water stations. Protests and arrests at Trump Tower in Manhattan today. CBS's Stacey Lynn has the details.
They're demanding the release of Mahmoud Khalil, the Palestinian activist detained by ICE over the weekend despite having a green card. Hundreds of demonstrators from Jewish Voice for Peace packed the building's lobby, chanting while holding signs that read, "Free Mahmoud, Free Palestine, Fight Nazis, not students, and you can't deport a movement." Khalil's being held in Louisiana. The government just formalized its request for a change of venue. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 373, S&P 500 is down 50, and NASDAQ is down 222. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
Julie Granger is the president of Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. Julie, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Yet today, please tell us about Junior Achievement's unique mission.
Junior Achievement of Wisconsin has a mission of inspiring and preparing young people for success in a global economy. We serve students anywhere from kindergarten through 12th grade, and we just started serving young adults 18 to 25.
I understand financial literacy is also an important part of your mission.
Financial literacy is critical to the long-term success of every individual so that they can plan their futures and they can live their dreams.
To help turn those dreams into reality, how can everyone get involved?
We are looking for people who are willing to donate their time, treasure, and talent to the organization.
What's the first step?
The best way to reach us is through our website, wisconsin.ja.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here to tell you about Built Right's annual Friends and Family Mattress Sale on now. The one location saves you time and money. Built Right makes it easy to shop and easy to buy. Don't have to take my word for it. Let's hear from another Built Right customer. Jenna from Cudahy says, mattress shopping, I've done the research for you. This is the best place to go for absolute quality at a good price. JD helped us years ago find our bed and was able to help us today find the right bed for our 14-year-old. JD knows the products and has a great strategy of questions to really figure out what you need. I purchased our mattress with full confidence that it's going to last and give proper support for many years. Big and tall, they have the best heavy-duty mattresses and box springs. We've had ours for about 3 years. It still feels brand new. Sounds like you got to get to Built Right today. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny and Jenna sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gerber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Basketball takes center stage today as the Bucks welcome in the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James is out due to a groin strain. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock tonight here on WTMJ. In college basketball, the Marquette Golden Eagles are on the floor against Xavier in the first round of the Big East tournament. Right now, Xavier is leading 21-18. And the Wisconsin Badgers are underway against Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament. And right now, the Badgers are leading 20-17. Badgers sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Roads are looking pretty clear this afternoon. No major incidents right now and no delays. And taking a look at the WTMJ forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, mild with a lunar eclipse, a low of 42. On Friday, partly cloudy and mild with rain and storms at night, a high of 63 by the lake and 72 inland. On Saturday, mostly cloudy, windy with scattered showers, a high of 61. On Sunday, partly cloudy and breezy with flurries, a high of 40. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 52 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 47 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
3 more stories that you might have missed, and if you missed any of the details today, text the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line. Send the word SPIN to 616. What is it, Chris?
It is 855-616-1618.
I don't know why I know that number backwards and forwards, but whatever. All right. I know. You know what I do know how to do? I know how to spin the wheel.
Yeah.
Allegedly. We'll see if the mouse will cooperate.
Cudahy.
All right. Well, as school districts struggle for funding and in some cases are forced to close, what to do with the empty buildings becomes a pressing issue. Project Concern, a nonprofit ministry serving those in need, has purchased the former St. Frederick's School in Cudahy to address its need for more space. Patrick Higgins, executive director of Project Concern, told the Journal-Sentinel that it was just over 2 years ago when the ministry was first told by the church that Project Concern needed to start looking for a new home because the church would eventually need the space. Higgins said it was super surreal. Project Concern was able to close on the school property on February 20th. The purchase was $28,350, which seems like maybe a bargain when you think about home prices. But the school building, which was constructed in 1921, is falling apart and will need to be raised, Higgins said. So Project Concern is planning to launch a capital campaign to raise money for a new facility on the site. Project Concern offers a food pantry and clothing assistance, as well as books, toys, and medical equipment loan program where people can use equipment as needed for a few months.
Very nice. It's buying a teardown is basically what they did.
Buying the land.
That's good for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's spin it again.
Madison.
Are you still feeling the effects of our time change the other day?
I'm better. The whole week feels off.
See? Well, that's the problem. And if you're like Kristin, if you're yawning, if you feel a little groggy after the time change, there may be good news on the horizon. A Republican-authored proposal that would eliminate daylight savings time in Wisconsin has been introduced in the legislature. The latest effort to eliminate the practice of moving an hour forward in the spring and an hour back in the fall aligns with previous comments by the president, who in a December social media post described daylight savings time as, quote, inconvenient and very costly. And then he hemmed and hawed about it in the Oval Office on Monday. The Wisconsin State Journal did not report that, but they did report that the authors of the proposal wrote in a memo seeking sponsors for the measure that eliminating the practice of daylight saving time in the state would, quote, promote public health, safety, and economic stability. Now, under the current law, daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. on the second Sunday in March. It ends at 2 a.m. on the first Sunday in November every year. The proposal would eliminate the practice in Wisconsin, effectively making it standard time year-round. Yes. Now, federal law generally preempts states from deviating from standard time or eliminating daylight saving time, but states that fall under one time zone, like Wisconsin, can do away with daylight saving time as long as the change applies to the entire state. Because there's parts of Indiana, the northeastern part, is on the same time we are. Then the lower part of the state doesn't change at all.
It's so
They're
confusing.
always on Easter. It's ridiculous. But 31 states have considered or are considering bills or resolutions related to daylight saving time this year. So,
all right.
I don't know. Like I said the other day, it doesn't bother me that much, but I wouldn't cry if it went away. I'd just be, okay, I don't hate it. Let's spin one more time, shall we?
Wausau.
All right, well, this is Wausau, but it actually applies across the country.
That's right.
So if you're an insomniac or a devoted stargazer, be sure to go outside tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on how you think about it, at 1:26 a.m.
To be exact.
Yes, to feast your eyes on a planetary phenomenon. The total lunar eclipse, not to be confused with the eclipse of my heart, the first in
All right, Bonnie
nearly
Tyler.
3 years, will be visible across the U.S. tonight, March 13th, into tomorrow, March 14th. Americans haven't had the opportunity to witness a total lunar eclipse for nearly 3 years. It's almost a year since we got the solar eclipse. Yeah. They can only occur when the moon is full and aligning perfectly with the Earth and sun. When this happens, the moon is passing into Earth's shadow in a color-shifting process that lends it the nickname blood moon. Reporting in the Wausau Daily Herald cites NASA sources to explain that the moon, which does not produce its own light, shines because its surface reflects the sun's rays. Though the Earth blocks any direct sunlight from reaching the moon during a total solar eclipse, the sun's solar is lunar. Through the lunar eclipse, the sun still casts the Earth's shadow on the lunar surface. And so
we got to tell the Wausau Herald to proofread a little better.
Because the sunlight is blocked, the moon will be dimmer than usual, but the effect will also paint its surface with a striking reddish-orange hue for a few hours, creating a breathtaking sight in the night sky as it moves through the constellations Leo and Virgo. The eclipse will be noticeable starting around 11 p.m. with totality occurring at 1:26 a.m. Good night, moon. Literally.
There you go. If you missed anything, you need to text SPIN to the Siding Unlimited Talk in text line 855-616-1620. See, I do know the number. It's muscle memory. I just spew it out. And then you can always subscribe to the podcast. That would be so much easier. Then you wouldn't make me say the number every day. Just help a brother out. Just subscribe to the podcast. That's how we do it. All right. When we come back, maybe you've been accused of being foul-mouthed. Maybe someone has told you you swear like a sailor. Maybe you'll be able to retort to them, yeah, but it's good for me. So, and drop your own string of expletives right there in their face. We'll talk about that and more after this on Spanning the State.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profiled the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes.
Ryan Lathrop, school bus driver, coming his way, a semi-truck in the other lane, and it's creeping over the center line.
Tried to get around him, see if I couldn't avoid him, and he ended up going right down the side of my bus. I don't feel that I'm a hero. I did just doing my job.
Everyday Hero, Thursdays at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Brian Noonan for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I've been talking to you about this, and the story just keeps getting better. I've been doing this for about 7 weeks, a little over. I've already lost 43 pounds. I know, I can't believe it either. But it is the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. So if you're like me and you've been struggling with your weight, this is the program to look at. It's doctor developed. It's easy to follow. You don't have to take shots, prescriptions. You don't have to buy any prepackaged meals. It's just you, your own food, and your own desire to live a healthier life. The program helps reset your metabolism so you keep the weight off for good. You get a coach, and that coach is there. They're reachable. They'll give you some advice. So go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation because, yes, it works. It's also cost effective. It's about half as much as the other programs. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. I am at the 2-month mark just about, and I have lost more than that. You can do it too. It's crazy watching your body lose up to a pound of fat a day. So schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or go online to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. And they're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristin Brey.
And I'm Brian Noonan. I'm not going to lie. I love to swear. I don't swear here much. In our meetings, I swear occasionally.
I don't feel like I don't. Maybe it's just because I'm immune to it, but I don't think of you as someone who curses a lot.
I try not to at work because I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time and a place. The place is usually the car. The time is any time I'm behind the wheel.
Did you curse a lot in your stand-up?
Not a lot, but I did. And when I started doing it again, I made a conscious effort just to cut out the F word. I'll still say other things. But I was never, dirty. That's how I talk, which is the problem. I don't do it for effect. I swear.
Yeah.
And I grew up swearing. My dad swore. My mom never did. But when she finally started to drop one every once in a while, it was shocking.
It was awesome. I bet
it was really cool.
Curse. No, she means business.
Well, yeah. Now we have free reign. Now both of them are swearing. We're on the way. So it led to high school, where I don't remember much from high school, but I do remember Father Wisniewski. He was my English teacher. He was I'm not exaggerating, about 4 feet tall.
Oh God.
He was as round as he was tall. Horrible dandruff, chain smoked, and during the summer he would go out to Reno to tend to his flock.
Okay.
Whatever that flock might be, or whatever craps table they were meeting at. But I ignored most of what was there, except one time in English class, he said, not to me, just to the class, profanity is the linguistic crutch of the ignorant. And I thought to myself, well, that's a load of BS. But I've always thought that, and sometimes when I hear someone swearing a lot, I immediately think they're kind of dumb. But that's not true, because...
Like Goodfellas a lot?
Yeah.
Right.
That's...
like every sentence?
Right. If you hear somebody swearing nonstop, you judge them, don't you?
The F word it can be every type. It can be a noun. It can be an adjective. It can be an adverb.
It's perfect.
Just saying.
It's only bested by the F word with mother in front of it. That's the only way you can best it. But multiple studies have shown that more intelligent people do swear a lot. And then a new study came out this week. All right, I know you working around the house, you said before Frankie came, you were building shelves, you were doing all kind of stuff. Did you ever hit yourself with a hammer, or you got hurt when you were playing sports? Do you swear when you get hurt?
Oh, yeah. Like if you stub your toe?
Yes.
Whew.
That is perfectly all right.
All right.
Because swearing, according to new research, will help increase strength and your tolerance for pain.
Oh.
I adhere to the swearing when I hurt myself rule. I don't know if it works, but it also it does that. It's been linked to bolstered social bonds.
Yeah, I feel like you trust. I think can you trust someone who doesn't curse?
I don't.
You're like, oh, you're a little uptight. I don't know if I can trust you. I feel like you're a little judgy.
All right, that makes sense. Improved memory. Well, judging by my phone number debacle, I don't know if that's really helping.
Well, if you would have cursed while you said the number, maybe it would have helped.
Oh, I didn't hear. You should have heard it, which is part of the new survey, part of new research, because Ollie Robinson, he's a researcher. He was the one who came up with this theory that it helped with pain, dealing with pain and stuff. But there's a new survey where they're trying to study if you say it in your head, like
versus out loud,
versus screaming it out loud, where, like, embarrassingly enough, I've hit my head on the car getting in and sworn in a parking lot. And I'm sure, and I know people looked. So if I had kept it to myself, they say, or they're trying to figure out if I'm going to get the same effect. You're supposed to just swear at a steady pace for a second, for once every 3 seconds. So just And that is they're trying to see if that helps as much as swearing out loud. You're also supposed to pick your own favorite swear word.
See, I always remember, I think I learned this in an acting class once. It was like a Shakespearean acting class. As far as the actual catharsis of curse words, especially curse words with very hard consonants. So if you think of the F word, if you think of the see you next Tuesday, like they're hard consonants and they feel better to say. And so that ties into why it makes us feel a little bit better when we say it.
That's new. Now, see that the second one for as much as I swear that word.
Hard consonants, though.
Yeah, but hard consequences. More like it. So listen, if this weekend you're out celebrating St. Patrick's Day and you trip over the sidewalk and you slam your head and you feel like swearing, do it. It's going to make your head feel better. It's going to increase your strength and your stamina, and it'll build the social bonds because everybody around you will start laughing. And then they'll try to pick you up and help you.
It's funny because we're not quite Frankie's starting to talk and saying words, and so we're not a family so far that's been. I like this as like the idea is like I've given up a lot for you. I'm not giving up my curse words. So we'll cross that when we get there.
Yeah.
But I have, speaking of Irish friends, my friend David's from Ireland. They live in he and his wife live in North Carolina now, and they were visiting us. They came for Irish
Yes,
Fest.
I remember that.
And their 5-year-old, I guess, just dropped one in kindergarten. And it was exactly verbatim how his dad says it, like even with the accent. Oh. And so when the teacher called to tell them, she goes, to his credit, he used it in the right context.
Sure, well, that's good. You got to like that.
At least it's just swearing appropriately.
I love when little kids swear. Little kids and really old people. Or if like a really old person, like in their 80s or something, flips you off, I think that's hilarious. Because it's like there's still that fire burning in them, and they want to just tell you and so it always makes me laugh. Now, if it was my little kid swearing, I would be mortified in public, but then I would have to go home and laugh, because I don't remember Molly. I think maybe because I swore, Molly didn't.
Oh.
And Debbie swears, but it's usually. It's not a lot, and it's usually directed at me. So Molly was just like, well, that makes sense. So I know she swears now, but not very often.
Okay.
So, but I tried to be cognizant of not swearing in front of her, like you're talking about, thinking about with Frankie.
I mean, I do it on air, so I should be able to do it around Frankie.
Well, see,
right? Every day I do it for 2 hours on here.
I know. That's what everybody always said to me. What, like you said, you don't seem like you swear. You're on mic all the time. I know. I need to put one of those microphones like around my neck, like the guys who sell stuff at Sam's, and try to get you to come and buy knives. So then I would think that I'm always on air, and I wouldn't be able to swear.
Then you might have a lower pain tolerance.
Yeah, listen, you could drive a nail through my head, I swear so much, and I wouldn't feel it. All right, let's do this. Then there's more. It's spanning the state.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopco Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam, check out new frame styles, and order your annual supply of contact lenses, all in one place. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopco Optical. Receive quality eye care and a personalized vision solution tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. How do your books look? Are they ready for your tax return to be prepared? Did you and your accountant talk during the year and develop a plan to minimize your tax bill? Or does this sound like you? You can never get a hold of your CPA. Phone calls are not returned and questions are never answered. Your books are a mess and the bank account hasn't been reconciled since last year. You don't get any advice to help you run your business. That's not the case with the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow. We like to work with you throughout the year to keep your books up to date so you run your business profitably. Are you ready to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait. Do it now. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. You know, I get a lot of questions about QC Kinetics treatments, people asking if they should consider it for their own joint pain. Well, here's how you know. If you answer yes to any of these questions. Is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees or hips or shoulders or other joints, trouble sleeping or walking? Do you want to avoid surgery, a long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? And most importantly, do you miss doing the things you love because joint pain is holding you back? If you answered yes to any of these questions, don't wait. Call now. Call QC Kinetics and ask for your free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can help you get lasting relief. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristin Brey.
And I'm Brian Noonan. We got an interesting text, and this is hard. It's from a listener who says they're 83 and they think they got hacked. And I don't know. Do your parents call you? Do your parents have trouble with the computer, or are they pretty savvy with it?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on the assignment.
Yes, and it depends on how clever the hack is. You know, my mom, she's not on the computer too much anymore because she was getting hacked nonstop.
Okay.
She was, you know, and I think between my brothers and I, we kind of warned her off just clicking links or accepting Facebook requests, because what would happen is her friends would get hacked, and then they would send a request.
Or they send like the messages asking for money or something like that.
And then my mom would get hacked, and it was like, oh, just stop. Just stop. But this poor guy, or I don't know if it's a man or a woman, we're trying to figure out, because they're like, is there anybody who could help us? I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do either.
I sent back, I said, well, why do you think you're hacked?
Yeah.
Did you do one of these things? So we'll see if they respond, and maybe I could troubleshoot. I could pretend I'm in a call center somewhere, and we'll try to walk them through it.
We have a little bit of time before the news, but we covered that story back. I don't even know what happened with it, but remember leading up to the election, the Win Red and Act Blue, but specifically Win Red, of how much money they were getting from like automatic payments from older individuals, thinking, you know, they're donating, but as all of a sudden in $15 dollar increments, it was really adding up. And it feels like taking advantage of people.
Yeah, we talked about nursing homes and stuff and the service people get there. It's like we can protect them from things like that, we hope.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody wants to be on the computer, you can't protect them, unfortunately. So when we come back, though, there is a trend that is disturbing but not surprising that is happening at medical centers across Wisconsin, and we're going to get into that. But first, we head to the national scene with ABC News and local headlines on Spanning the State.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The tariff back and forth adding to the sell-off on Wall Street today. President Trump says he's sticking to tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, telling reporters he also doesn't believe the U.S. needs Canada goods.
We don't need their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't need their lumber. We don't need anything that they give. We do it because we want to be helpful, but it comes a point when you just can't do that.
Canada imposing reciprocal tariffs on U.S. goods, but says it does not want a trade war. No one wins. A judge ordering probationary federal employees fired under the Trump administration's sweeping cuts be reinstalled in their positions, saying the firings did not follow legal procedures. The next cutbacks could impact your mail. The U.S. Postmaster sending a letter to Congress saying the Postal Service plans to trim its workforce by 10,000 with voluntary buyouts over the next month. The Post Office has roughly 600,000 workers. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. I'm Jessica Gatso. The caretaker accused of abusing a now dead toddler from Two Rivers is asking for more time to prepare his case. Attorneys for Jesse Vang say they may need up to 6 months to review video and other evidence for trial. Police say Vang was the first to report 3-year-old Elijah Vu had gone missing in February of 2024. His remains were found last September. Vang is due back in court June 20th. One person is dead after possibly falling down a flight of stairs at night. West Dallas police found a 23-year-old man dead at the bottom of an exterior staircase near Mamma Mia's restaurant at 86 and Greenfield. Investigators believe the man was running in the parking lot on Monday night, failed to see the stairwell, and fell. There is no evidence of foul play. Decision Wisconsin. Disabled voters will not be allowed to get their absentee ballots by email. The Wisconsin Appeals Court ruling Wednesday comes less than 3 weeks before the April 1st election. Disability Rights Wisconsin, the League of Women Voters, and 4 disabled voters brought the lawsuit a year ago, arguing that not having the email absentee voting option violated their right to independence and privacy while voting. Currently, only military personnel and overseas voters can get absentee ballots by email. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 529, S&P 500 is down 76, and NASDAQ is down 332. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Mostly clear on the roads at this point in the afternoon. We're just starting to see those delays pick up on westbound 94, just really along the Stadium Interchange. And time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, mild temperatures with a lunar eclipse, a low of 42 degrees. On Friday, partly cloudy and mild, rain and storms at night, a high of 63 by the lake and 72 inland. On Saturday, mostly cloudy, windy with scattered showers, a high of 61. Sunday, partly cloudy and breezy, possibly flurries, a high of 40. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 52 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 47 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 2:33.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Matschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing
Dashing change, Rich Lawns.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And as I've gotten older, I have more friends who are done having kids.
Sure.
And so, there's sometimes always conversations around the guys about the V word being vasectomy. I guess there's a urologist in Milwaukee named Dr. Sandlow. And when you leave, he gives you a koozie that says you've been Sandlowed, which I think is amazing. So, when I think about people typically choosing some kind of permanent birth control option, it's in that context of like,
Sure.
We've had kids, we're in a marriage. We don't want any. We don't want an oopsie baby. Oopsie baby. But a UW-Madison new study has found that the number of people who sought surgical sterilization at Unity Point Health Meriter Hospital in Madison more than doubled after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe. So back in 2022, More than doubled, with many younger women opting for the procedure. Dr. Laura Hanks is a clinical assistant professor at UW-Madison and an OBGYN for UW Health and co-author of that study. And she joins us now. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So there's the study, but there's also, as an OBGYN, what you have anecdotally seen in these last 2 years. And so what were you seeing as far as the type of woman who was coming in and asking for a surgical procedure for this versus what it's been like in the 2.5 years since Dobbs?
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually the whole reason we wanted to do this study, because we were seeing right after the Dobbs decision, I'd say, again, anecdotally, in my clinic, I would see maybe once a month I would get a consult for sterilization, which, just for those that don't know what that is, for a patient that has a uterus and fallopian tubes, it's removing the fallopian tubes. So it doesn't change anything about periods. It doesn't make you go through menopause or anything like that. It just takes away the road for the car to get to the garage and park to have a baby, right?
That's a good analogy.
Wow. I got a whole different picture of things now, Doctor.
I'm a visual learner today. So I would say we would get about maybe once or twice a month we'd get a consult for that procedure. After the Dobbs decision, it was like 2 or 3 a clinic day.
Oh,
at
wow.
least. So we were seeing this and we were like, we got to look at this. So then we collected the data and showed that, in fact, we looked at not just the consults, but the actual surgery. So who went through and actually had the surgery. And it increased by 106% in our institution in the year after the Dobbs decision.
What kind of conversations would lead up to these procedures and the women who were making this choice?
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of these conversations were heartbreaking at times. So I would see patients that would come in and say, my partner has a vasectomy, or I'm in a same-sex relationship. And so, it is a surgical procedure, so you want to make sure that patients are consented, obviously, but understand the risks of the procedure, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a very in-depth conversation and making sure that we're all on the same page and using shared decision making to make the best decision for their lives and family. But so yeah, these patients would tell of these stories or have this background, but they would also talk about a background of sexual assault, and they're like, I am scared that something's going to happen where I'm forced to have a baby that I didn't even want, and I need to protect myself. Because in the post-Dobbs era, in that year afterwards, Wisconsin was very much a gray area. We didn't know if abortions were allowed or not, and so people were scared as to what was going to happen. So they were seeking to control their bodily autonomy. They were coming in and they wanted to be able to be sure that they were, as you mentioned before, not going to get pregnant or be forced to carry a pregnancy that they didn't even want.
And so, either anecdotally or in the data that you guys collected, did it change at all once the Dane County judge ruled? And so we're now in this limbo where Planned Parenthood has resumed abortion services, and we're waiting for the Supreme Court to decide. But was there did the requests go down?
Anecdotally, yes. And
Okay.
we are currently collecting that, next year of data right now. So we're going through and seeing, I don't have the exact numbers as of now, but we're crunching them as it were to find out. It has kind of dropped off a little bit. But we still, I would say there was another kind of uptick that we noticed in fall. There was this little election that some people might have heard of.
Oh, what was that again?
I can't. Trump? I'm not sure. But there was another little uptick, and again, we're collecting that data as of now. But we will have that out hopefully in the next couple months at our institution. Now, other institutions have shown that when they have access to abortion, that the sterilization rates, and that's a lot of people will also look at vasectomy rates as well. That in Madison just is a little bit more complicated for us to collect for a variety of reasons, but that again, once patients have access to abortion, those numbers tend to drop off at the sterilization rates for both men and women.
Interesting.
Well, Dr. Kristin mentioned at the beginning that the study shows a lot of younger women are opting for this procedure, and you mentioned, as we all know, it's a surgical procedure. What are the risks involved, and do the risks change with age?
Before I answer your question, yes, it was very interesting in our study. Not only younger women, but or patients that are capable of getting pregnant, but patients that had never had a baby before. So another population that I noticed coming in, and it's very interesting. They almost always had the same story. They'd come in and say, since the first day I got my period, I knew I never wanted to have a baby. You can call and ask my mom. They always say, you can call and ask my mom, which I found very interesting.
Yeah.
But, I never do that, obviously. But there is a population, and I think that's really hard for especially older white males to wrap their heads around, that there are people in this world that just don't want to ever have babies, and that's okay. And so when they come in, I've heard, again, horrible things that they've been told. Oh, my friend told me I had to bring a list of reasons, or I had to have my boyfriend sign off on this. And I'm like, no, this is your body and your decision. My job is to give you the options that are out there, like not just a surgical sterilization, but talk about all the forms of contraception and figure out what's right for you. Like I mentioned before, some people don't know that this doesn't change periods. And so maybe they're looking for, something to control their period, and maybe a long-acting reversible contraceptive or a birth control pill is maybe even a better option. And I've definitely, in this counseling, had people change what they originally came in for. But it is important to go through those options and also talk about sterilization for, removing the fallopian tubes is a procedure that we need to go into the abdomen. So there are risks of injury around where we're working, so bowel, bladder, blood vessels, things like that. It is very low, like less than 1%, because most of our patients, as mentioned, are young and healthy and very often haven't had prior surgery, so don't have any scar tissue, but it's still a risk, and that patients need to be aware of before they go into. So I don't, take it lightly before I take someone to the OR. This is, I want to be very clear that it's not like us as doctors are just taking anybody that, comes in off the street. We are doing a lot of counseling and talking about all of these risks before we go to the OR.
And something that sometimes is also prohibitive is how they pay for it. So is this something that insurance typically covers, or are people paying for this out of pocket?
Yeah, it is almost always covered across the board. It is one of my favorite things. I shouldn't say that, but I love to defend my patients if it's not. And if it comes to that, if I have an insurance company that says, well, I want a peer-to-peer, I want a discussion about this, and I'm like, oh, come at me. I'm ready. Let me tell you why this is so important. And I get pretty fired up and defend my patients. And I'm not alone in that. I know that my colleagues at UW and across the United States, we feel very strongly about protecting our patients and having them having access to this right. So even if the insurance companies push back, almost always in the end we can come to an agreement to have them have it covered.
Doctor, do you think the trend will continue if, we know the abortion law in Wisconsin is going before the Supreme Court. If they change the law or do away with it, do you think this will change what you're seeing not only in your clinic but across the state?
Yes, 100%. I really do. I think that it will. I think that people will continue to want. When you threaten their bodily autonomy, they're going to find ways to take control of it again.
Right.
And this is what our study showed.
All right, Dr. Laura Hanks, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Doctor.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me, and have a wonderful day.
You too. Well. She is a clinical assistant professor at UW-Madison and an OBGYN for UW Health. Interesting turn of events.
Just, I know there are, as a middle-aged white man, who she said cannot wrap his head around, it's surprising, but not unheard of, where people will go, I never wanted to have kids. Okay, and that's, I think it's a shame that women who are put in the position that they have to make that permanent decision so young for whatever reason, and some people never change their mind, some people do, but the fact that you had to make this decision that alters your life at an early age is sad. It's it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back with more after this.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
During the transfiguration of Jesus, Peter said that they should set up 3 tents on the mountain. Peter wanted to stay in that moment. This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. We also can get stuck focusing on the wrong things we don't want to change. During this Jubilee year, the Holy Father has asked us to be signs of hope for others. With hope, we see that we can change. As we begin this Lent, let us each use our gifts and talents to show the world that change and hope are possible in Jesus. Please join us at Mass.
All right, not today, but tomorrow we have an exciting giveaway on Spanning the State. One fan is going to win 2 front row tickets to see the Beach Boys come into the Riverside Theater Friday, May 23rd. So I'm not going to tell you what time we're going to do it, but at some point tomorrow between 1 and 3 during Spanning the State, Friday, we're giving away these tickets with timeless songs that shaped history, music history. They continue to inspire generations. Experience the music, the magic, and the good vibrations that the Beach Boys are still making. They're making waves. Win 2 front row tickets to the Beach Boys coming to the Riverside Theater May 23rd, tomorrow during Spanning the State, 1 to 3 p.m. Join us tomorrow.
$1 in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did. But our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street and Jefferson. Griffin Chevrolet in the Auto Mall. Griffin Ford, Waukesha, and Fort Atkinson. 5 ways to make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. Hunters and soldiers use night vision optics that enable them to own the night.
Jesus said he is the light of the world, and whoever follows him will never walk in darkness. However, he sometimes keeps that light out of the visible range. We don't see it, but it changes what we see. What does it mean to walk in that light of Christ? Hear Dr. Michael Ziegler's message, Light of the World, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Well, we got a couple more minutes before we're going to get out of here, but you found this story that I am so confused by.
All right, first of all, the look on Julia Fellow's face when the goodbye music came on, she's like, it's not time for you to go yet.
Yeah, I don't even have my co-host yet.
Well, we're going to stick around for a minute because, yes, I enjoy stories of anybody trying to get one over on somebody else and then being so stupid it doesn't work.
Okay.
So a guy was in Newark Airport, a man from Pennsylvania, and they didn't say where he was going or where he was coming from. But as he approached TSA, they noticed something wiggling in the front of his pants. Now, I don't say this to be lurid. This is from the actual news story. They stopped him because they said if there was anything hidden in his groin area. Now, I would have said something, to make myself feel better, but he said yes, and turns out he had a turtle wrapped in a blue washcloth jammed down the front of his pants.
So not in his pocket.
No, down. Yeah, just down the front of his pants. Like it probably tucked in like his underwear. Well, Kristin, that's the question. Why? It's the kind of turtle that he brought in was a red ear slider turtle, which I knew nothing about until I was looking at this. They're very common. They're just like pet turtles. People keep them everywhere. So it's not, I don't know if it was his emotional support turtle, but at that point you carry it with a little banner. You don't, put it down your pants. So I don't know why, but this is not something that is unusual. People try to get animals past TSA all the time in all different kinds of ways. In February, just last month, TSA in California found, and I remember this story too, 37 giant beetles worth almost $1,500 concealed inside packages of Japanese snacks, potato chips, and chocolate.
Why are the beetles so expensive?
I don't know. I don't know much about beetles.
Right.
I just know I'll take TSA's word for it. And you might think, well, that's a one and done. Plus, they weren't down to anybody's groin. Can't have beetles in your pants. You can have ants in your pants, but that's a whole other story. At Miami's International Airport, TSA officers found 2 snakes inside, and I quote, an ironically camouflage patterned pouch. This was on Instagram. That made the list of TSA's top 10 best catches of 2024 video. So like exotic animals, I don't understand it, but I know there's a lot of money in that. This common turtle, there's no money.
So they didn't get to the
in
bottom of it?
No.
Of why he had it, why he decided to sneak it in down his pants?
Said it was a 5-inch long turtle. They don't know why. They're very common and native in the southern United States, so it's not a rare turtle that's going to fetch him any money. TSA released no other details.
Did he get to still go on this flight?
No, he missed his flight. Well, yeah, they're, once they find a turtle in your underpants.
With your shampoo bottle, you're just like,
that's
take
right.
it.
Yeah, you just throw it out. But they got to figure if I have a turtle in my underpants, I have something else hidden on me. So they're gonna do a big search. All right, well, that's about it. On that note, we couldn't leave as fascinating and sad as the sterilization story. We needed to cleanse our palate a little bit. So we'll talk about a turtle in your underwear. But we'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to start the St. Patrick's Day celebration early. It's the Friday, so we're going to do it. Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Is that the
Slancha?
Slancha. All right. See ya.
There's your alarm.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much